Hey guys, it's Miss Delcambre. So today's Wednesday, December the 9th, and here's a rundown of our day. So you'll need your journal, notes on 13.3, a pencil, and a highlighter. So make sure you are getting Builder 13 done. We're going to be talking about paying for college. We're going to be going into our video first. That's going to be about 8 minutes. Then we have our notes. I went ahead on the second part of the notes where you have to fill it out. I posted it into the Google Classroom, and I'll show you where that is so that you can just copy it down or make sure you print that and put it in your journal. And then our homework. So if I go to the Google Classroom for this week, this 18.3 paying for college colorful notes is what I was talking about. Okay, so please make sure you click on that. And that is filled out, and it gives you the information on grants, savings, scholarships, loans, and work study. So now we're going to watch our video. Hopefully it loads right.
$1.6 trillion in student loan debt. Everyone's talking about it. Most people are affected by it. Some don't even realize they're affected by it. It's a problem. The average student that graduates with $35,000 in debt. A lot of you are facing student loan debt problems. A lot of you have little children, and you're thinking about the cost of education and what you're facing as you're going into that. This is a big deal in America. Joining me, Rachel Cruz, best-selling author, Anthony O'Neill, best-selling author. I'm Dave Ramsey of The Dave Ramsey Show. We've been pounded to the point that when you're talking to high school students getting ready to go to college, they almost think it's permission to play. You have to go into debt to get to be on the stage.
And it's the biggest myth of them all, Dave. And it's not just with our young people, it's even with their parents. Our parents and the students do not even believe it is possible to go to college 100% debt-free. And to be honest, I didn't know it was possible to go into college without racking up debt. And I took out loans just to go to college, and not really to pay for my college expenses, but just to pay for my lifestyle, because the education wasn't out there. And I'm tired of it. And I'm here to help educate and bring hope to young people to let them know that you can go to college debt-free.
Okay, so that's our statement. You can go to college debt-free. Now, how do you do it? What's the big things you have to do?
Well, here's the number one thing, is that, one thing is we got to start educating our kids. And one of my good friends, Kevin, says that our students are doing a kid's approach to an adult decision. They're going off to colleges saying, hey, this is my dream school. I want to go here. All my friends went here. This is good. I'm going to go this way.
It's a beautiful campus.
Beautiful campus. But you know what? A lot of students get upset at me because I say, you know what? Your dream school should not be that dream school. Your dream school should be a school that you can afford to pay cash for.
If you can't, your dream becomes a nightmare.
Yes, sir.
That's exactly right. Well, and I was going to say, too, you have to go into the mindset of this topic to say, absolutely, no matter what, there's no way I'm going into debt. So you take debt completely out of the picture, then suddenly other options come in.
Yes.
Going to a school you can afford, scholarships and grants. Like, this is free money. I always tell high school students, take this approach where this is your part-time job. And even if it's a $200 scholarship, it feels like a drop in the bucket compared to your tuition. But take 30 minutes, fill out the form, write the essay. And if you get that scholarship or grant, you make $200 in 30 minutes. I mean, I'm like, that's like the best part-time job ever. So make it that and get that free money.
The thing about the college choice is, in the equation, scholarships matter, the grants matter, those kinds of things matter. But college choice is the biggest math swing
100%.
in the equation. Because you can go from $60,000 a year to $2,000 a year.
Absolutely.
In this discussion, from a community college that in some states is free, or it's $2,000 a year, all the way up to a muckety muck prestige 60 grand. And it's okay if you go to any of them, as long as you can pay for it. But if you're trying to pay cash and you don't have any money, you can get the education on the lower end of that spectrum in an in-state school and a community college. And the other thing is, you've been talking a lot about trade schools. There's no shame in, especially if you're in stuff like technology.
Absolutely.
Or if you want to go into a trade with your hands. Welders make more than a lot of social workers with a master's degree.
They do, Dave. And you know what? One thing, Dave, I'm teaching our young people is you got to identify your major. Make sure that this major is profitable. Once you identify, I want to be a hairstylist, or I want to be a carpenter, You don't have to go to a 4-year university. You can go to a trade school and learn that particular trade within 6 months, spend about an average $5,000 to $7,000 for that particular trade school if possible. Then you can graduate and go straight into the field, making anywhere from $30,000 to $60,000 a year in income.
A diesel mechanic's making 80 right now. And so, you could go do that and then pay for your 4-year if you wanted to. That'd be what turn around. There's no shame in any of this. That's called working your way through school. And working while you're in school is a good thing, right?
Yes, sir. I recommend going to it with a college student. It's something that Rachel and I teach, and even you teach this, Dave. Work no more than 20 hours a week, because what studies are showing that if they are working while they're in college, they have some sense of ownership. And when they have ownership, they can focus in their classrooms better. They can get better grades because now they have sweat equity in it.
And don't just go get any job. I mean, you want to do the math and say, okay, what's going to pay? Like, is waiting tables and getting great tips best? Is there something on campus that they could actually put some money towards your tuition? Like, be strategic about it and think about it. And it's amazing. Even just getting, if you're a girl, a nannying job in the city that you're in and work for a family. I mean, like, there's so many options and ways to make money. And so do it. And again, it's hard. It's so much easier to sign your name to a student loan and to sign your name on that dotted line. It's hard to go to the school you don't want to go to. It's hard to apply for those scholarships and grants. It's hard to work while you're in school. It's hard to live a lifestyle of a college student when all of your friends are like, spending all this money. But man, those short-term sacrifices for long-term gain is so worth it.
That way the 32-year-old version of you doesn't hate the 20-year-old version.
Yes, or having to live like a college student once you're out of college.
Right. And, I talked to the dean of business college about 20 years ago, and I've seen this come up time and time again. They had done a study at a major state university that showed that the amount of student loans at that time being taken out was the equivalent to the increase in lifestyle. Meaning the apartment that they rented, living off campus, they got a car, they spent money socially and those kinds of things. And the debt that they were coming out with was not tuition related, it was increase in college lifestyle. So, the dreaded thing that you really are not supposed to say out loud is, you can live at home. Go to college.
You really can, Dave, because even studies are showing that if a local in-state university will be about $8,000 to $10,000 a year. So if you stay home and eat at home, you can really graduate from an in-state college for about $40,000. That saves you a lot of money.
$10,000 a year you can make delivering pizza while you live at home. Easy. That's it.
Drive Uber. Do something.
Do something.
We're done. So America has done a horrible job. The culture has done a horrible job of selling you guys on the fact that a student requires a student loan. And Anthony's got a new book coming out that shows you step by step exactly the things we've been talking about on how to avoid that.
It's a great looking book, Anthony.
I gotta tell you, the book cover. This guy's good.
Yes. So much that. Thank you.
Debt-free degree, baby. Talk about this.
Parents, it is overwhelming. I understand that you have a lot to do before you with this college process coming up. But you know what? I wrote this book because I want to help you get your kid into college 100% debt-free. So we literally start the process from 7th grade through 12th grade on what you need to be doing in every year up until that process. One thing I love about it too, Dave, in this book, we even teach parents how to really master the ACT and the SAT. If they can really focus and prep for that and get some high scores, this is the difference between getting a partial scholarship to a full ride. And we talk about that on really how to be successful in this book.
It's a step-by-step, clear path, talking about the principles that we just outlined, and it's only $19.99. This is what's known as a deal. So you can get it at DaveRamsey.com, you can get it at AnthonyO'Neill.com, you can get it anywhere a great book is sold. So be sure and check it out, because this, really, we have to treat the problem, not the symptom. The student loan debt is the symptom. The problem is people didn't know how to get an education without debt, and this is the vaccine. So I'm real proud of you. This is a great book.
So good. Oh, it's fantastic.
It's going to be a big seller, so don't miss out on it. Debt-free degree. By Anthony O'Neill. That's it, baby. Get after it.
Okay, so this video helped a lot with looking at this unit of paying for college. So I'm going to come over here and get to my document camera. And so the information that was in the Google Classroom, the colorful notes, how to pay for college. So you have grants, and grants is money awarded to students that does not need to be repaid. This is free money, guys, but it's usually awarded to students with the most financial need. Okay, let me move my little orange thing if you can see that. Okay, So in order to get grants, you have to fill out this financial aid form. It's a free application for federal student aid. Again, when you get to high school, your counselors are going to kind of reiterate that, remind you about it, and encourage you to fill those out. Okay, you also have savings. So savings is a place or an account that you can store money where you can earn interest. And you want to make sure your savings have good interest. So you want to contact your local bank or credit union to set one up and see if you can qualify. Now, scholarships. Scholarships are money awarded based on students' achievement. There's tons of ways that you can get scholarships, and there's thousands of different scholarships available, and you can just go on to Google and type it in and see what types of scholarships there are. Okay, it's often based on GPA, grade point average, how your grades are in high school, or other achievements such as athletics, you were in choir, art maybe have scholarships, different organizations such as like student council, all have different types of scholarships that you may be able to qualify for. And in high school, they're going to encourage you to look for that because scholarships is free money. So it's free money that is awarded to you that you don't have to pay back. So then we have the dreaded loans that our video was talking about. And loans is money that's borrowed that has to be paid back with interest. And many loans are offered specifically for students. They're called student loans. And a lot of these student loans are kind of nice. You know, they're kind of nice. So what happens is they say, hey, we're going to give you this money, but while you're in school, you don't have to pay us back, and we're not going to charge interest, or we're going to charge interest, but you don't have to pay us back while you're in school. But when you get out of school, you have to pay us back. Well, that's where they get you, and that's why people take so long to pay back these student loans. Okay? And then you finally have work study. And work study is just jobs on campus or at a local organization that pay towards tuition. Okay, these are often related to the student's field of study and may be need-based. And again, you want to see if you can apply for any of those work study programs. Any of these work study programs. So like the computer lab at school, the library at the college. Those are some certain things that are the work study program. And again, wherever you go, you will just have to look that up before you get there or call or ask. Now, just like the video said about the technical schools, 4-year college may not be for everybody. Maybe it's a technical school. Maybe it's a 6-month school that you're trained in welding, or you have paramedic training or EMT training that doesn't take a full 4 years, but they still cost money. It's still training. So you need to make sure, are there grants or scholarships or, that you can get to pay toward that tuition. Okay, so let's go to our next page. And today is 12/9. And we're going to go ahead and start on some of these questions. And I know that they're not pixelated so great, so apologizing for that first thing. So Michael is graduating from high school and wants to attend college. He did not earn any scholarships or save any money to help him pay for college. What are some methods you would suggest for Michael to use to pay for college and why? Well, he didn't get any he has no savings. He has no scholarships. So there's only 3 things left that Michael can do. So we can say that he can apply for a grant. He can apply to see if he can get a grant. Get a part-time job, or take out a loan. Now, he can do all of these, and these are methods that he can use because he's trying to get money somehow. He can get money with a part-time job. He can earn money that way. If he applies for that grant, if he applies his FAFSA and he's awarded a grant, that's more money that can go toward his college. If he can take out a loan, maybe a loan that has a low interest rate that he can pay back over time, maybe that's the best for Michael. You just have to see. So Kira is in her last year of college at the University of Houston. She has a scholarship that pays 75% of her cost. Her classes cost $14,000 for the year. How much money does she still need to pay the cost not paid by her scholarship? What are some methods that she can use to pay them? So real quick, 75% of the total is her scholarship. So 14,000 times 75% gives me $10,500. So this is her scholarship. All right, so how would I figure out how much she has to pay back? So she first started off with $14,000. This was her tuition. Okay, then we need to subtract the amount that she received in her scholarship. Okay, leaving her a remainder of $3,500. So how can she pay or get money to pay that $3,500? Well, she can get a job. She can get a loan. Those are some examples. She can even apply for another scholarship. Apply for another scholarship. There is no amount of scholarships you can, if you get one scholarship, that's great. You can apply to as many scholarships as that you can qualify for. And you can be lucky enough to get another one. Okay, so those are some ways that she can pay that remaining $3,500. So now we have Jim. So Jim wants to go to college. He doesn't have the money to attend a four-year university, and he plans to attend El Paso Community College until he saves enough money to transfer to a university. Guys, this is very typical in big cities where they'll go to community college for their basics, and then they transfer to a larger university. Jim has $2,300 saved, but El Paso Community College costs $8,000 a year. He receives a $1,000 grant and wants to work to earn 50% of the remaining costs. How much does he need to earn from his job? So first we need to find the tuition amount. Well, it costs $8,000. So that's what we're starting with. Start off with a tuition of $8,000. Then he saves some money. So we need to take that money and apply it to his tuition. So this was his savings. So we're subtracting it. So whenever you're dealing with college and loans and tuitions, you're always going to subtract that amount from your tuition. So then we're left with $5,700 remaining in his tuition. But then he received a grant. All right, the grant costs $1,000, so that's being applied. So we're going to take out $1,000 for that grant, leaving him with $4,700. Now he wants to save to earn 50% of that, so we times that by 50%, or if you think of it, or half it, which he would need to save $2,350. Okay. So remember, when you're doing your work, it's a lot of adding and subtracting. You're subtracting what money you get in scholarships, loans, savings, and grants, and maybe money and work studies from your total, which is your tuition. Okay? So I'm going to minimize this screen. And if you look, your homework for tonight, is paying for college, 18.3. So you're going to click here. And you have 10 questions. Your first 3 questions is money you earn for yourself. So you're going to put the following term into the correct category. You may list more than one category for each description. Okay? So here's number 4, 5, 6, and 7. I want you to pay close attention on 4 and 7. I've kind of went ahead and typed work on here, did the work here. So Jeff wants to go to university that costs $9,000 per year. His scholarship is 70% of his tuition. I put the amount, which is $6,300 in his scholarship. And he saved $3,000 toward his first year tuition. Does he have enough money to pay for the first year's tuition? So we look at the scholarship, what he's paid, so $6,300 plus $3,000, and we take that away from $9,000. Does he have enough money to cover it? Okay. All right, our next one, here one, we don't have to convert anything. Number 6, the Winkler family saved $100 each month at the time that Sarah was born until she started college. Sarah started college. One moment, I need to open that with Cami because I wanted to annotate for you. Here we go. Sorry about that. Oh, there it is. So, I already saved my annotations. Saved $100 each year, so $100 each month from the time Sarah was born until she started college. So 100 times 12 is $1,200. That's a year. Times she's 18 years old, so she has $21,600 in her savings. So the college that Sarah wants to attend is $7,200 per year. For 4 years, her tuition would be $28,800. Has her family saved enough to pay for 4 years tuition? Explain. So we know what the savings, what the tuition is, and did they save enough money? Number 7, Juan is going to school where the tuition is $5,000 per year. He has a scholarship that pays 60%. I went ahead and did the, oh, hold on, I messed up here. What the tuition was going to be, the scholarship was going to be $3,000. Okay. He has a grant $4,000 per year. How much will one need to borrow to pay tuition each year? Okay. And then questions 8, 9, and 10. There are expenses beside tuition when you attend college. How might you pay less for these expenses? So we talked about, in the video, it talked about how you can pay less for room and board. Books and supplies. So this isn't one that we can type. You can purchase used books or return books once you are done with the class to get money back. And also, you can ask friends or other people who have taken the class to use their old book. That can save you money right there, guys. That can save you money. All right, and transportation and personal expenses. So what's another way that you can pay for less at transportation and personal expenses? So that's going to be it for me today, guys. I hope you have a good day. Please make sure that you're here tomorrow. We're going to be doing some research on paying for college, looking up colleges, all sorts of stuff. So I will see you later. Bye.